I've seen a few kings go on the throne and go off the throne again. Violet Wilhelmina Stevens. I was born in Colac in Dr. Brown's private hospital. I'll be 109 in November. Mum and Dad were farmers. We were in Uric for 8 years, a share farm. It's hard work, on the farm. Anyway, that was what they did, I suppose. That's what they had to do. But when I was a child, I had a lot of sickness, right up till I was 9-year-old. And I never had an education because I was always sick. And the school teacher used to keep taking me home. He and another farmer, they were the only ones in the district that had a car. Sometimes I used to have to walk home. It's only Edie and I, only 2 girls. I'm 3.5 years older than her. I don't know what Mum and Dad would think, both of us living all these years. And Edie's 105. Mum, when she was in a nursing home waiting for Edie to be born, Edie was born in 1919. Nurse Sal was the midnurse, and she got word to say that her brother was killed in the war. And Mum said she sat down to the piano and she played Remembrance. It was the name of the piece. And Mum thought it was such a beautiful piece of music. And so when I started to learn, she said to me, she told me about it. And she said, that's one piece of music I want you to learn, is Remembrance. I learned to play it. And if I played that piece of music once, I have played it hundreds of times. It's a beautiful piece of music. Any member of the family, aunties and uncles, and then when they passed away, I used to always sit down and play Remembrance for every one of them. Because I can't now. It's one thing that left me was being music. And I'm very sad about that. They gave up the farm and we shifted into Beeac. And we were in Beeac 3 years. And Mum and Dad had a boarding house. We thought that was wonderful. We were living in a little town. Although there wasn't that many shops, but there seemed to be, just what you wanted. But if you wanted clothes or anything like that, we used to have to go to Colac. There was a man, Mr. Wig, his name was, and he used to run the pictures once a week on a Saturday night, and in the public hall. And that was next door to the boarding house. And of course, he was boarding at our place, So Edie and I used to get in free every Saturday night. We thought that was good. We never used to have to pay. But they were silent, there was no talking or anything. Kitty, she used to play the piano while the pictures were on. It must have been a bit of an ordeal. You had to sit there and play the piano for I don't know how long, A lot of the times I used to break down, and you'd be sitting there for half an hour, perhaps an hour before they got it going again. We weren't allowed out till I was 17 to dances or anything like that on my own. And the same with Edie. So we had a rather strict bringing up. Dad was very fond of dancing. He was a beautiful dancer. He and his sister, before they were married, they used to win all the waltzing competitions around the country. Yeah, they barred them in the finish because nobody could beat them. So, but that was in our blood. Two girls used to come up from Melbourne and they taught us to dance. They taught us to do all the what they do in Melbourne, the foxtrot and all that. And we used to take our shoes off and dance on the lino, polished lino, And those girls used to teach us to dance. So, of course, when Mum and Dad would go to the dances in the school, Edie and I'd be up. We could show them how to do it. We used to dance together and all the latest dances. Bill and I were just great friends before we go and play tennis, and that's him. Yes, we were married in Carpendeit. Yes, a very quiet wedding. Mum, she was just getting over an operation for a goiter. She said to me, well, I don't really feel up to having a wedding. She said, I don't think I could cope. And I understood that because I know how sick she was before she had the operation done, and she wasn't properly over it, So I said, don't worry about it, Mum. I said, we won't have a wedding. And so we just said, well, we're getting married. If you want to come and see us married, you're quite welcome. And if you do, you'll get a cup of tea after. That's what everybody was told. We never sent any invitations or anything. We just told everybody, if you want to come and see us married. Anyway, after we was married, Bill told me that he was disappointed I wasn't married as a bride. Just frocks. We just had frocks. They were quite nice. I wanted a fur coat. The short fur coats were all the go then. And because it was summertime, the day we were married was 40 degrees. So we went to Maury Jacob. Honey Days came with us to Geelong. So the bloke, he bent down and he put his arm around a whole big fur coat, put him up on the counter. I said to Days, well, I can't afford meat. I'll have to settle for rabbits. So I bought a rabbit one. But I was determined I was going to have this fur coat. And it was summertime. Anyway, I got my fur coat. We used to laugh about this fur coat, and all the things that happened. We had the fire at Carpendeit, 1939 fires, yes. And took our cattle out there in one summer. We stayed in an old log hut. We papered it out with newspaper and made it livable because there'd been nobody in it for years and years. And then, of course, the fire come and burned it down. I lost my gold watch that Bill had given me for a wedding present. Lost all my jewellery, engagement ring. I ran in and I grabbed my fur coat. and as I was running out, Mum said to me, "Did you get your clothes?" "Yes, I got my fur coat." It had a life of 9 lives. We moved to Lorne in 47. We were there for about 6 weeks, I suppose. There was this fisherman, and he said he had a boat he wanted to sell. So Bill bought his boat. And this bloke said, "Well, I'll go with you for 3 months." But he was a terrible fellow, and he used to come to work full as a boot. And if Bill did anything that he didn't like, he'd threaten to throw him overboard. One night, he let out a yell in the middle of the night, jumped out of bed. And I said, "What on earth's wrong with you?" And he told me about he'd had a nightmare that he was being thrown overboard. And I said, "Tomorrow when you go to work, you get rid of him." And he did. Yeah. Frightened the devil out of me. I thought he'd gone mad. I lived quite a quiet life when we first went down because I didn't want to mix with anybody, or as long as I could stay in my own 4 walls, I wasn't too bad. But I did suffer a lot with nerves. So I just kept to myself as much as I could the first year or 2. The fishing was pretty good. Bill was making a good living in the barracuda. And then, of course, the government let the Japanese in, and they fished it out. And they cleared off. So it was never any good after that. Only the crayfish, the crayfish was very good. Well, that's the summer scene. See the summer scene, is it? I had a few lessons of Auntie Rube before I was married. On the farm, I never had time to be painting. But when I was down at Lorne, I wanted to have a few lessons. I'll never forget the first lesson. I'd done a bit, myself, but not for a long time. So I had my easel up and the board and everything on it, and that's as far as I could go. Just stood there. I didn't know what to do. How on earth did I do paintings before this? If I'd had the copy, I'd have been at it. Where's the copy? Oh no, you've got to paint that out there. Anyway, he just come along, took the brush off me, put it in the paint. Now there's your sky. Oh yes. Well then I managed to try and do something. I love painting trees. I got quite good at flowers. And he told me one day, he said, flowers and trees that's your main thing. No, sadly enough, the first time coming out, it started to molt. So I had to throw it out.